You found me again. I'm Jessica Ashley, author of the Single Mom in the City blog, Sassafrass, right here at sassafrassblog.com. Today I want to talk about that one little piece of advice that sometimes can change your whole course in the middle of a trauma. You know, that one little thing that somebody says that makes you wake up or look around or dig a little deeper or just be different or just be. So let's set aside for a moment those many swirling things that take up our time and attention and investment and worry. The things that people say that should probably stay in their heads. You know what I'm talking about. My sister got remarried. You might get remarried. You should probably get remarried. Have you tried marriage counseling? Are you sure it was really that bad? Or what about the kids? Even worse than the things said that step away and clench like divorce or breakup is contagious or cancerous or something that can be passed along from one person to another just because the door to attorney's office is opened. Those things that the only really good response to is, did you really just say that out loud? Yeah, those things. I'm going to put those aside. Instead, we're going to hold tight today to that advice, those gems that we let slip through our hands so much or get lost in all those other swirling comments. The very best bit of advice I got came during the darkest days of my divorce and came from a friend who's not married, has never had kids. She just knows me really well. She knows who I was before. She got who I was during, and she could see who I was becoming in the after, even when I couldn't. One day, while I was sobbing about some dramatic phone call with my ex, she stopped me and she said, "Your life is bigger than just one man." Now listen, I have been a feminist since the day I came out of the womb carrying a poster board with Sharpie marker protest across it. I have a graduate degree in women's studies. I taught women's studies. I am an independent lady. These are not the words I ever expected that I'd need to hear. But you know what? They were exactly the words I needed to hear. So what this did is it gave me permission to set aside the screaming and the insults and who my ex-husband was and who he was becoming and what happened and who was I with him and what did we have and what about this marriage and did I fail and did we fail and where did this all go wrong? I could just push pause on that for 1 minute at a time, and honestly, sometimes I could only do it for 1 minute at a time so that I could think about something I hadn't thought about in a really long time, myself. But if I could carve out these little bits of time to think about, hey, what is my life bigger than? Who do I want to become? What do I want my career to be? What kind of home do I want to create? My universe expanded. Bigger than the courtroom, bigger than the little cave-like apartment that we'd lived in, bigger than that one relationship, bigger than that old identity. And it just exhaled. This breathing space also made me a better parent. And here's the radical, honest part. It includes my son, the person who's going to become a man. And the amazing part is, the more I put out to the universe and said in my head, my life is bigger than ... the bigger my life got. When I get stuck in one of those moments or I'm having one of those days or I freak out about how are we gonna ever figure out visitation vacation schedule, I just go back to what my life is bigger than. And then it all kind of falls in place and gets easier and calmer and better, bigger. So now it's your turn. You can share those gems you've been tucking into your sleeve granny style or tucking into your bra or carrying around in your pocketbook. Share them in the comments or email me. Oh, and be sure to share your URL, and I'll be sure to link to you when I compile all those great words of advice into one giant post that we can pass on to all the single mamas, or maybe going to be single mamas out there. Sound good? I know you have really big, amazing things to do today, so I'll let you go. Thanks for joining me.